Jose Rizal's Higher Education, Chapter 4, Scholastic Triumphs at Ateneo de Manila on year 1872 to 1877. Ateneo Municipal is the college under the supervision of Spanish Jesuits, the bitter rival of the Dominican-owned College of San Juan de Letran. Escuela Pia, or the Charity School, is the formerly name of Ateneo, a school for poor boys in Manila, which was established by the city government in year 1870. In 1859, when the Jesuits returned to Manila, the school name was changed to Ateneo Municipal and late became the Ateneo de Manila. They were splendid educators, and so Ateneo acquired prestige as an excellent college for boys. It was 4 months after the execution of Gomburza, while Doña Teodora was still in prison. Jose, who had not yet celebrated his 11th birthday, was sent to Manila. On June 10, 1872, Rizal, accompanied by Pasiano, went to Manila and took an entrance examination on Christian doctrine, arithmetic, and reading at the College of San Juan de Letran, and passed them. His father, who first wished him to study at Letran, changed his mind and decided to send him to Ateneo instead. Father Magin Ferrando was the college registrar, refused to admit Rizal in Ateneo for 2 reasons. First, Rizal was late for registration, and second, he was sick and undersized for his age, because Rizal was 11 years old that time. But through the aid of Manuel Ceres Burgos, the nephew of Father Burgos, Rizal was then accepted in Ateneo. Jose was the first of his family to adopt the surname Rizal. He registered under this name at Ateneo because their family named Mercado had come under the suspicion of the Spanish authorities. Rizal was first boarded in a house outside Intramuros on Caraballo Street. This was owned by a spinster named Titay, who owed the family Rizal the amount of 300 pesos. This is the Jesuit system of education. It trained the character of the student by rigid discipline and religious instructions. Students were divided into 2 groups, the Roman Empire and the Carthaginian Empire. Yung Roman Empire consisting of internos, or the borders, the red banner, and the Carthaginian Empire composed of the externos, or the non-borders, which is the blue banner. Yung emperor is the best student in each empire. Second is the tribune, the second best, the carrion, the third best, centurion, the fourth best, and the stand-bearer, the fifth best. The Ateneo students in Rizal's time wore a uniform which consisted of hemp fabric trousers and striped cotton coat. The coat material was called rayadillo. And now let me discuss to you Rizal's first year in Ateneo in year 1872 to 1873. Father Jose Beck, Rizal's first professor in Ateneo, whom he described as a tall thin man with a body slightly bent forward, a hurried walk, an ascetic face, severe and inspired, small deep sunken eyes, a sharp nose that was almost Greek, and thin lips forming an arc whose ends fell toward the chin. Rizal was placed at the bottom of the class since he was a newcomer and knows little Spanish. After the first week, the frail Calamba boy progressed rapidly. At the end of the month, he became an emperor, and he was the brightest pupil in the whole class. He won his first prize, a religious prize. To improve his Spanish language, he took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during the noon recesses. He paid 3 pesos for those extra Spanish lessons. In the second half of his year in Ateneo, Rizal did not try hard enough to retain his academic supremacy, which he held during the first half of the term. This was because he resented some remarks of his professor. He placed second at the end of the year, although all his grades were still marked excellent. At the end of the school year, in March 1873, Rizal returned to Calamba for summer vacation. Summer vacation year 1873, Rizal didn't enjoy his summer vacation because his mother was in prison, so Neneng Saturnina brought him to Tanawan to cheer him up. Without telling his father, he went to Santa Cruz to visit her mother in prison. He told her his brilliant and excellent grades at the Ateneo. She embraced her favorite son. After summer, he returned to Manila and boarded inside Intramuros at number 6 Magallanes Street. His landlady was an old Doña Pepay who had a widowed daughter and 4 sons. The second year in Ateneo, year 1873 to 1874. Nothing unusual happened to Rizal during his second term in Ateneo, except that he repented having neglected his studies the previous year, simply because he was offended by the teacher's remarks. To gain his lost class leadership, he studied harder. Once more, he became emperor. Some of his classmates were new. Among them were 3 boys from Binyan who had been his classmates in the school of Maestro Justiniano. At the end of the school year, Rizal received excellent grades in all subjects and a gold medal. With such scholastic honors, he triumphantly returned to Calamba on March 1874 for the summer vacation. The prophecy of mother's release. Rizal lost no time in going to Santa Cruz in order to visit his mother in jail. He cheered up his mother's lonely heart with news of his scholastic triumphs in Ateneo and with funny tales about his professors and fellow students. Her mother was very happy to know that her favorite child was making such splendid progress in college. In the course of their conversation, Doña Tudora told her son of her dream the previous night. Rizal, interpreting the dream, told her that she would be released from prison in 3 months' time. Doña Tudora smiled, thinking that her son's prophecy was his attempt to console her. But Rizal's prophecy became true. 3 months passed, Doña Tudora was set free. By that time, Rizal was already in Manila attending his class at the Ateneo. Doña Tudora happily back in Calamba and was even more proud of her son, whom she likened to the youthful Joseph in the Bible in his ability to interpret dreams. As a voracious reader, Rizal read not only fiction but also non-fiction. He persuaded his father to buy him a costly set of Cesar Santos' historical work entitled Universal History. According to Rizal, this valuable work was of great help in his studies and enabled him to win more prizes in Ateneo. Teenage interest in reading. During the summer vacation in 1874 in Calamba, when Rizal began to take interest in reading romantic novels. As a teenager, he became interested in love stories and romantic tales. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, the first favorite novel of Rizal, which made a deep impression on him. Later, Rizal read Travels in the Philippines by Dr. Fyodor Jagor, a German scientist traveler who visited the Philippines in 1859 to 1860. Rizal was impressed in this book because of, first, Jagor's keen observations of the defects of Spanish colonization, and second, his prophecy that someday Spain would lose the Philippines and that America would come to succeed her as a colonizer. Yung third and fourth year of Rizal in Ateneo po will be reported by my sister named Fredeline Regalario. And that's all for the Rizal's first year and second year in Ateneo. Education is the key to success. Rizal at a very young age, even to the end and even when his life gives great to education. As Rizal viewed it, the youth deemed to be the society's hope should give their education more importance. He is a good reminder for students to give value for education and for our parents' sacrifices and support. This was prepared by me, and I am Andrea May Regalario. That's all po. Thank you.